Hey guys, we're live. We're live, and we got guests. Jeff's here as usual. We got a guest. I'll introduce him in one sec, but first I got to take care of some housekeeping issues. So we're reading out our alpha members: Jeff Frank, Bruce Willis, Barbarian Arm Wrestling, Ready Go Garb, Brian Kerner, and Ready Go Solutions. And that will do it with what we have to cover for the second that I had to cover them. But welcome to the show, Robbie Topie. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Great. Now, Jeff,
really good.
You were commenting on the background picture. Please continue.
Oh, I'm just saying this is the best set we've ever had from a guest right here. I'm just looking in the background, and Robbie's got two exceptionally good mule deer on his wall. It looks like, or is the second one a whitetail? I can't tell from here.
Oh, they're all mule deer, but I could.
They're all mule deer. So look at that. That world class deer right there, folks. Well done, Robbie.
Thank you.
Those Idaho deer?
One is from Wyoming and the rest are from California, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Nice.
All right, Robbie. So let's talk arm wrestling a little bit. Let's go through the basics, man. Like, how long ago? First of all, you're in California, correct?
I currently live in Idaho now.
You're in Idaho now. Okay, right on. So let's go back through the history a little bit. When did you get involved in arm wrestling? How'd you get involved? And let's talk through that a little bit.
I believe my first arm wrestling tournament was June of 1996, I believe. With Bill Collins at a tournament that he's been running forever and ever in a small town of Patterson, California, the Apricot Fiesta.
That's way back, man. You got longer in the sport than I do.
Yeah. I kind of come and go, though. I've never been too serious until recently.
Now, when you say recently, how were we talking like years or months, or what are we talking about here?
I haven't gotten real serious into the sport until probably the last couple of years.
Really?
Okay. So we backed this all the way up. Like the last time we ran into each other was WAL in, what was that, 2016 or something like that?
16, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
Back then I did zero training. I'd never trained on a table one day at that time. I just went to tournaments and.
Well, that sucks for me because you got the win on me that day, and I was trading, and we are going to probably run into each other in the not so distant future. Had COVID not happened, we would have done it already.
I know. I was looking forward to that too. I've not yet been to Canada, and I was really looking forward to taking my wife up there.
Yeah, I can't wait to have you guys. That event's going to be huge, and of course, I had to put it off till next August. But yeah, Robbie Topie, Ryan Espey, Paul Passmore, and Travis Bagent.
Is that matchup still continuing on?
Absolutely, 100%. I just talked to Travis there the other day, and he's 100% excited. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Now, what is the format going to be for that, Jeff?
So it'll be Robbie and Travis, and then you and Paul. Winner faces winner to be the champion. Loser faces loser to place the order.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is a chance we may not run into each other, but
you said that it would be Travis and I and you and Paul to start off?
Yeah.
Well, I don't see it any other way then.
I love it. Yeah.
So you're predicting it's me and you in the final?
I am.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, see, Robbie texted me a picture of his forearm, man. That guy's fucking's got 18-inch forearms, Ryan.
I used to have 18-inch forearms.
Here's how I have never lost a super match, and if I have a match set up that I can specifically train for, so I will be training specifically for Travis Bagent. I don't see myself losing when I train specific for something. Now, you may be able to beat me after I have to deal with Travis, but I'm not going to lose to Travis.
That's a bold statement, and I really look forward. I mean, for me, it's going to be a matter of not just focusing on the match at hand, but also trying to balance that with being very interested in the outcome of that match and watching that one, not just as a competitor that's up next, but as a fan of the sport.
Well, and most recently, I mean, you took down some real studs there, Robbie. You beat Tom Nelson and then beat Carl Stanley. You know, Carl Stanley's is a real deal. He's a strong dude, and you know, Tom Nelson you beat quite handily, and Carl Stanley, I mean, you took him out too just a month or so ago.
Yeah, my training for Tom Nelson was a lot more proficient, and he got under my skin a little, and I wanted to make a statement. So there was no way in hell Tom Nelson was going to stand a chance to beat me. That was the strongest I'd ever been, and the most prepared I've ever been. Carl Stanley, though, man, that guy, I got to give him props. I knew he was a strong man, and I've been watching some of his videos. I watched him beat Sean Latimer in a recent super match. And I was worried about his press, so I trained specifically to be strong enough to deal with his press, which worked out for me, but I underestimated his speed to get there dramatically. Right. And that's where I had my issues. Luckily, I trained my strength to deal for that press, but I didn't want it to have to be that difficult.
Yeah, because you correct me if I'm wrong, but you were coming back. You were fighting out of the defense on almost every match, correct?
The first two, yeah.
The first two.
After the third match, I had made some adjustments, and he never got to get us set in. But in that first match, I was scared. I had my wife screaming for me, and gave me that little extra boost.
Nice.
Yeah. Tom Nelson didn't put up much for you. I watched that one live, and that was extremely impressive. You went through him rather handily.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the best arm shape I'd ever been in. He got on the internet and started stuff that got under my skin a little, and I had to go prove a point.
Tom was talking shit about somebody. I find it
not Tom.
Not hard to believe.
Yeah. So did you end up pulling the tournament left-handed in the Nevada State Championships as well?
I did, but I shouldn't have.
Right.
So you went on and how did you end up placing in the tournament? Now, understanding, of course, that you're beat, you're tired. So, and oh shit, we just lost him, Jeff. No.
Uh-oh.
We'll get him back. Don't worry. As long as your sound stays good, we're good. Anyway, I was going to ask him a question, but I'll wait till he gets back, obviously. But it is working, so he'll be back. Jeff, what do you got? What do you got coming up?
Well, I'm still working on TAL2. I just lined up a good women's match. Harley Marchand will defend her belt against Brianna Anderson from Rhode Island. So,
man, that's big. But do you have a date for TAL2 yet?
Well, I can't book a date yet. No, we're just going to sit in limbo here and just kind of have the foundation in place, and then when we can finally move ahead with. I'm working on all kinds of ideas, but I don't have a date. No.
We got you back, Robbie.
I have no idea what happened.
Okay, let me just fix the screen here a little bit. Now, is that tech support behind you?
Yes, my young man.
Helping you out with the computer?
Good morning, Mr. Young Robbie Topie.
He's been helping me out with my deer hunting this year.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Can you hear Jeff now?
Can you hear me, Robbie?
Not currently. I don't know if he's talking.
No, Jeff is not able to be heard. So, Jeff, we got to try for you to go out and come back in one more time. Actually, Jeff, hang on just one sec. Now say something.
Can you hear me, Robbie?
Nope.
I can hear you, but no Jeff.
Jeff will be back. So while he's doing that, I will ask you, you went on, so you pulled that, when you pulled Tom Nelson, it was a Carl Stanley. You guys ended up, was that a super match kind of format for both those guys?
Carl Stanley was a super match in Nevada. I had a match with Tom Nelson in Tahoe.
And then you went on to pull in Nevada at the tournament after. You said that might have been a mistake.
Oh yeah, no, I was pretty beat up after pulling Carl. I can see Jeff.
Let's see if you can hear him.
You hear me now, Robbie?
Got you.
Got you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot.
That's okay. Now you can see Jeff's smiling face off in the distance in his boardroom.
He is better looking than you are, Ryan.
Oh, man,
I told you.
I was gonna say I understand, but man, I look at Jeff and I don't see that. I guess I'll give that to him. Jeff being the better looking one. So where were we? Now you said it was a mistake to pull the tournament after.
Yeah, I made it to the finals, and let's see, I'd taken a loss to Vrez.
Yeah.
The guy is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
There's no chance in hell that guy was going to beat me without my super match prior with Carl. But
yeah.
So anyways, I was starting to feel a little bit better, and then it was Ron Bath, myself, and Vrez in the finals. And I went up to Ron, and him and I were coming up next for third place go. And I asked him how he felt. I said I did not want Vrez to win this damn tournament. And so I asked him how he felt. He said that he thought that he had a better chance of beating Vrez than I did, given my condition. So I laid down the match with Ron so that he had a little more stamina to deal with Vrez, and I didn't get it done, unfortunately.
Yeah, that Perez is a bad dude too.
Well, that guy has been around forever. Like a lot of people think that he's new. He's not new.
No.
Oh,
I've seen him around for years and years, and never ran into him in an event at all. But he's pretty awesome.
I pulled him in Nevada the year before, and it was just throwing nothing.
Yeah. What did you think of the? Did you see the Travis Bates and Sean Latimer match? You had mentioned Latimer.
Yes, I did see that, and I've watched some video that Travis has put out
saying it was fake.
Yeah.
What do you think of that statement?
I didn't expect anything less from Travis, but give a man credit where credit's due. Sean looked impressive that day.
Yeah, and then Travis kind of made him look like a fool in the videos that followed. Somehow, Travis has convinced the world that was a fake, or he laid down for him.
Yeah, I didn't see that in the match, but like I said, give credit where credit's due.
True. Yeah, fair enough. Latimer is good, and Travis has got different versions of himself that show up on any given day.
Exactly.
6 months to prepare, which I'm hoping he shows up as ready as he possibly can be in Red Deer, because we don't want any excuses.
Oh, it doesn't matter. He can show up the best that he's going to show up. I'm going to smack him.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome.
Nice. So what is on the horizon? What do you got next?
There's been talks about a match with Michael Todd and I coming up here in November, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. And then, yeah, I'm open for suggestions with anybody. I would really like to pull Paul, but I know we got the deal coming up in Red Deer, and I don't want to mess up that. So I know Paul and I have been chit-chatting through friends. But, yeah, so I'm open for suggestions. I'll pull anybody.
Well, I'll tell you right now. I'd like to bring you up a few times, Robbie, and I'm going to work on something else maybe for you up here in Red Deer, possibly before, maybe before, we do the Red Deer Charity Classic. I don't have anybody in mind, but I'm gonna work on something because I'd love to have you up here in Canada. Obviously, we've talked about doing some extracurricular activities too in the way of hunting as well. So, maybe I can work on something for TL2 or TL3.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Perfect.
Well, when the world opens up again, I mean, you don't have to save all those matches for the Charity Classic, Jeff. You can remove 25 of those matches.
No, we're not removing. No.
No? You can't move those up?
No.
Oh, okay.
Those are all sponsored for that event, so it's we got to keep that. It's going to be a 3-day event, and kind of the itinerary of the event's kind of taking shape now. So I don't want to change anything. It's going to be big. I know Gabriella said that she's bringing up that she was. Gabriella told me that she's going to opt out of Worlds and for the Red Deer Charity Classic and bring a whole group of Brazilians up. So I don't know how many people she's talking, but so I want to keep it as is. And
Yeah, I hear you.
Amazing
Yeah.
turn.
yeah,
So we got a couple of comments here that are worth reading. Uncle John says Robbie Topie is real scary. Adam says, is Robbie a debt collector? Are you a debt collector, Robbie?
I'm not a debt collector.
And Curtis Mocan says, Jeff is the Don King of the arm wrestling world.
oh yeah.
You go. Great title to have.
I don't know about that.
So if he is, we got to keep a real close eye on him. Make sure that we don't end up signing over 90% of our agreed upon rate.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I guess a little bit. I don't know, Robbie. So your training, maybe a little bit about your personal life. What do you do for a living? Are you able to disclose that, or?
Yeah, well, I retired law enforcement in California. When I
Great.
retired, I moved to Idaho, get my family moved into America and out of that communist place.
Oh,
I love it, man. I love it.
oh,
That place is something special. So yeah, a year and a half ago, I moved my family to Idaho, and I currently work for the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections. Just trying to do something.
Nice.
Busy.
we have that in common. I worked 18 years in juvenile corrections.
Yeah, that's a different animal. Going from the adult field to the juvenile field is very difficult for me.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
So you're training? Are you training? I seen some videos posted. Are you training mostly at home, or what's your training looking like, Robbie?
Yeah, like I said before I moved out here, I never trained on a table at all. I just went to the gym and lifted and mimicked different arm wrestling stuff in the gym. Show up to tournaments and let her rip. And then after I retired, I got more time. So when I got here to Idaho, I started asking around and hooked up with John Laverne. He's been around the sport forever. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's been to a few world. He doesn't have any world titles, but he's been to a few world events. He's an older gentleman, so I hooked up with him in a small town not too far from my place. We started pulling a little bit, and then got a few more guys that started showing interest, and some local guys that just do local stuff around here. And so I started just getting everybody to show up to my house, and I have half a dozen to 10 guys that show up on Monday evenings, and we just get after it.
Nice. Now, I think most of North America knows you stay off social media. So in Robbie's world, is there anything that you would like to do? Would you like to? Are you going to hit Worlds? The IFA Worlds coming to Orlando. You plan on traveling over and doing some Zloty or anything like that?
I would love to go to Zloty. My plan was to go to Zloty this last year. I was training a lot and feeling pretty good, and then everything's going on. So I do have plans to attempt to attend the Zloty, but I'm not real interested in a world deal. I've been to two world events, Poland in 2001 and Brazil in 12.
Holy shit! That was my first Worlds was Poland in 2001. Were you in the super spec then?
Oh no, I was 198.
Okay.
Yeah. I started out in 198, and then just as I got older and fatter and grew up, I guess. So.
Wow. I have to go back through my photos. I think I probably have some of you back in 2001 in Poland.
Yeah.
I did not realize you were there. That's, but I mean, I was new and I don't remember much of anybody from back then anyway.
Yeah, no, that was exciting. I was fresh arm wrestler back then, and I had no idea how I even ended up there. I went to our nationals, and I'd always competed with my right hand, and I had no idea that I knew how to with the left hand. And Denise Waddles talked me into entering with my left hand. She said, "Just give it a shot. You're already here, aren't you? See what happens." And I went undefeated in my very first tournament ever pulling with my left hand was the nationals, and I went undefeated, and I blew through Michael Todd. I blew through everybody. Like, No clue that this thing would do that.
Are you a right-handed dominant person?
Yes, I can do nothing with my left hand other than arm wrestle. If I try
That's me too.
cereal, I will stick the fork or the spoon in my eye. I can't connect. I put it on the wrestling table, it works.
Yeah, that's exactly the case with me and a lot of like top guys with the left arm. Travis, I think, is the only one I know of that's actually left-hand dominant.
Right.
So somebody, go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to say, you want to touch on Alex 1750's question there, maybe?
I was just going to actually mention that. He says, what happened to the four-way Robbie, Travis, Ryan, Paul? It's for real. It's still coming up, and it was postponed because of what's going on in the world. So next August, right, Jeff?
Yep. August 7th, 8th, and 9th, the Red Deer Charity Classic under my new league, Total Arm Wrestling League, will host that event. And yes, Robbie Topie, Travis Bagent, Ryan Espey, and Paul Passmore, four-way left hand. Yeah, it'll start off Robbie Topie versus Travis Bagent, and then Ryan Espey versus Paul Passmore. Winner faces winner, loser faces loser to place the order.
So first match is going to be all set. Second round of matches for first place will be Robbie versus Ryan, and then Travis and Paul can pull off for third and fourth.
There you go.
There you go.
That's
the prediction.
That will be when the beer drinking begins.
Yes. Yeah. I still have a right-handed match somewhere along the way in that weekend with Wayne Withers, I think.
Who are you pulling right-handed?
Wayne Withers.
Oh, he's a beast.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about super matches, and you say you never lost when you're focused on a person.
No, I've never.
What's that?
I've never lost a super match.
Right. So when you're focused on a particular super match, what's the thought process you go to? Do you like study their moves and design something specifically for them?
Yeah, I change my training and try to make my strength stronger in their dominance.
Interesting. So if you were to, let's say you're pulling Travis.
He's trying to glean information is what he's doing.
I'm not asking him what his game plan is for me. I'm saying, what is your, I mean, would be my philosophy as well, because I'm probably got Todd Hutchings coming up at some point in the near future in WAL. So I definitely need the game plan for that. But if you were, say, pulling a Travis Bagent, for example, can you share what you would tend to focus on in that particular match?
That particular match, and this is for anybody. This isn't a secret. I 100% believe that I'm stronger than Travis Bagent at any given time. Travis is a master on the setup and the go. So for Travis, I am going to have to specifically work on dealing with his bullshit at the table.
Yeah.
And as long as I can contain myself and keep myself where I need to be and not deal with his bullshit, then whenever the ready go happens, he's going to get stopped like a ton of bricks and smashed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are you weighing right now, Robbie?
I'm a little on the light side right now. I'm trimming down, taking the wife to. We're actually going to Cabo in a few weeks to fish a marlin tournament.
Oh my God, nice.
Got to get beach ready. I'm probably sitting around 255 or so right now instead of 270.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What is your heaviest you've been?
275.
275. Okay.
For whatever reason, I eat as much as I want. 1,000 calories. Just plow my face with food, and 275 I've never been able to get past.
And you're actively trying to get past there at some point, or you just seems to be the cap?
My goals have been to get to 300 since I've got into the super heavies, and for whatever reason, my body will not grow to that size.
See, I'm trying to get to 300 as well, but I'm coming from the opposite direction. Right. Yeah.
So, how about WL? Have they reached out to you? Is there any WL events in your future?
I don't have any contacts with the WAL since I left the WAL. Was kind of on not the best of terms, and so I don't do everybody knows my right arm is not very good. I don't know if you can see, but I have a large scar that runs down my forearm. I tore all the muscle in half when I was younger. And whenever everything got reconnected, for whatever reason, it does not connect to my hand. And so I lose my hand real easily with my right arm. But so the WAL doesn't have any left-handed crap going on currently. If they do and they reach out to me, I'd have to see what they asked. But previously with their contract stuff, they gave me permission to have a sponsor that I picked up in California, and they were very generous to me. My arm wrestling stuff went from being costly and tried to break even to cover your travels and your expenses to everything that I want arm wrestling went into my pocket. This other company took care of everything for me, and it was amazing. Steve Kaplan agreed to allow me to have the sponsor until they got with Monster. The other company was another energy drink, and so there was a conflict of interest, and he said, well, you can't have them now. I said, I signed a contract with them. He said, I'll take them to court. And it's kind of left me hanging in the middle and put me in a bad place. So I just quit arm wrestling for a while, and then whenever my contract out with the WAL is when I started arm wrestling again.
Can you say who the energy drink was?
5150.
Okay.
They're not very.
It must be like a more of a local kind of
company. They did a lot of charity stuff for autistic kids. There was a wealthy guy, a big farmer in California that I believe one of the family members or something had autism. And so he devoted time and effort into this energy drink. All profits went to autistic research and whatever.
Nice.
I'm actually surprised that I'm not surprised that they said no. I'm surprised he went to I'm going to sue them so quickly, right? But I mean, at that point, he's already dealt with Travis a few times, so maybe it's conditioned him for that.
Both companies ended up at the same Supercross event together because they had this energy drink had sponsored Supercross riders as well.
Oh yeah.
That's whenever they were starting the Monster deal with the Supercross stuff, and they both wanted me there. 5150 wanted me in their booth. WAL wanted me over with the other deal, and Steve Kaplan came up and said, said it's conflict of interest. We can't have it. Where do you want to be at? And it was like, well, ain't none of you guys paying me enough money, and you're going to disrespect me like that. So you're not changing my life. So I just had to back away from everything because I didn't want to get caught in the middle of that court battles and all that shit. So
yeah. Well, yeah, that's interesting because I don't know if people like we've had in the past. Jeff, we're not important enough for Jeff. He has to go take a phone call. So we've had events in the past where athletes have found ways to get their sponsors on TV, and unbeknownst to the World Arm Wrestling League. And I think the most famous one, and Matt has told this story, is that he had the temporary tattoo put on his arm, and now it became his nickname, the Wild Horse. But back then, that was just to get that sponsor out there, and
right.
And away they went. But I'm hoping that with Devin Larratt,
what we're doing now, my new sponsor,
Crunch Fitness. Tell me about that.
When I moved here to Idaho, I went and met with the manager there. Actually, I had to search around to find a gym.
Sorry, guys.
Most gyms don't carry very heavy dumbbells, so I searched around and found this local gym down the street here. Crunch is not local, I guess. They're a pretty big company. But anyhow, they told me they had 150-pound dumbbells, so I said, well, that's where I need to be at. Started talking with the manager about my arm wrestling stuff and whatever, and they hooked me up. And so I don't have a lot of social media. I got my Instagram account at TopRob9. And so I just post stuff on my Instagram for them.
Yeah. Jeff, was that the president on the phone?
No, that was a customer of mine.
Okay. What else you got, Jeffrey?
Well, one thing I wanted to, before I get into something else here, I wanted to ask Robbie if there's anybody out there that you would really like to have a left-handed match with North America or even internationally?
North America, my number one guy that I want to pull is Cody Merritt.
Have you pulled Cody in the past?
Oh yeah. Cody is just an amazing human being, very, very strong. Him and I need to settle a bout on the table. We pulled not well, I guess it was a year and a half ago in Hawthorne, Nevada. I had a super match with Ron Bath, and went through Ron pretty easily. And then Cody and I met later on in the tournament, and there was quite a bit of downtime, cold weather. I didn't take care of myself. I wasn't keeping myself warm. Jumped back up on the table with Cody, and I hit him real hard. I thought I had him beat, and I came back up to reposition my hand, and we both turned the horsepower on, and I tore muscle in my left arm, and I was black and blue from the wrist to the armpit, and so yeah.
So there's Cody in North America, and outside North America.
Oh shoot! I was talking with Neil Pickup about a match with Wagner. I think that would be an match.
You know who instantly comes to my mind is Kurdecha. Apparently, his left arm is amazing.
Well, Alex was saying his left arm is much better than his right hand for sure.
He's coming to Red Deer, correct?
Yeah.
May have to do some after pulling to see how that works out there.
Yeah, and he's doing a PAL event in the not so distant future here in Canada. If it happens, he's pulling Brian DeZormo.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, ain't he?
Yeah, he's like 6'7", 3 something.
Yeah.
There you have it, Jeff. Bring him up for bring Wagner up for TAL too.
Well, man, sometimes you got to be careful what I say, so I'm not going to say it here on Wagner. But I'm obviously fishing for some good matches with guys that I'd love to have up here for TAL2 or TAL3. So I'm just throwing stuff out there. So it's I mean, I love Alex Kurdecha. I talk with him regularly, and that'd be an interesting match.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah. You guys want to take some training questions? This is interesting. Speaking of heavy dumbbells, do you guys think the heavy dumbbell pressing 150 plus pounds will have more carryover than barbell pressing? And I assume they mean more carryover for arm wrestling. Now I'm curious because I know where I stand on as far as like pressing movements and things like that related to arm wrestling. What's your opinion?
As far as chest workouts in relation to arm wrestling?
Yeah.
The only chest exercise that I feel has any carryover is flies.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I bench regularly just for overall appearance, I guess, and just yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I don't think that any pressing movement has a direct carryover to anything related to arm wrestling.
No, I actually had somebody hit me up on my Instagram that was asking the same thing 2 days ago, and that was my answer. The flies are the only thing that I see that has any carryover.
Yeah. Jeffrey, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I totally agree. I think flies are definitely carry over to arm wrestling. I don't focus a whole lot on bench press. I'm not or anything like that. I mean, I do a lot of flies just to get control of my arms. Just to have that isolation, and because even when I do flies with like even 60 pounds, I like how you get that individual isolation per arm when you're doing chest flies. So I think there's a big carryover there to arm wrestling for sure.
Now, this match that was talked about in the comments here, opinions about Akash Kumar versus Sam. Where is that match?
That's at TAL too, and I can't wait to have a Cash come over from India. So I've booked that. So that's a Cash Kumar versus Sam Pofker from Rhode Island. And so they call it Cash Kumar the wrist hunter. He's like that guy just lights up everything over in Asia there in India. And man, I can't wait to see him. I don't have a date for TL2, but yeah, it'll be him in the co-main event against Sam Pofker.
And then there's another one that says, I wonder if TAL or is IFA/PAL or rather WAF friendly. I mean, will WAF athletes get banned for attending TAL like Zloty/IFA, etc.? I think I'm probably correct in saying that you're not affiliated with either one of them, right, Jeff?
No.
So you should not have anything to worry about.
The only, and I don't want to get into the politics of WAF because that shit really pisses me off. But whatever. I mean, the only issue that would come up there would be Rick Pinkney reffing a match potentially.
Yeah, and I think honestly the writing is probably on the wall for those organizations. Stop what they're doing, or they'll just be finished.
Yeah.
Meaning that IFA will move forward and WAF will stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else we got to chat about, guys? We're sitting at about the 37-minute mark.
Well, I'm gonna veer away from arm wrestling now, and I wanted to ask Robbie about something that's very dear to my heart.
I knew you would. Okay, go ahead.
So I had to ask him about this because I see his wife Lana post it all the time, and I wanted to ask him about something that's very dear to my heart, and that's if they're active members of SCI, Safari Club International.
Actually, we stay active with SCI, the NRA, the Rocky Mountain Elk. My wife works a lot of the events, so she's fortunate enough to get to travel around to all of their events and work all of them. She's met a lot of very famous hunters around the world. So yeah, we stay active in all of that.
And the reason why I say that is anybody that doesn't know who SCI is, it's Safari Club International, and they're probably the leading organization for protecting our hunting heritage and wildlife conservation. And I think you would agree with that, Robbie?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's very important to me. I'm a very active member, and hopefully we can attend a Safari Club, whether it's Dallas or a Safari Club International down in the U.S., and we can meet up there at one of these events. I think that'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. No, that's cool, and congrats on both of you for supporting and being part of that organization. It's huge for us that want to protect our heritage. So yeah, congrats to both of you.
Yeah, do everything for that little man that keeps popping up on my shoulder here. He's 10 years old and got his first tags and license this year, so he's all stoked. About 2 weeks, gets to go on his first elk hunt.
Oh, that's awesome!
Wow.
So.
No, that's cool. I know we've talked, over text and stuff about you coming up here and doing a hunt with me. So I hope we can still make that happen.
That would be awesome. Can't wait to go up there and see those gnarly wolves you got running around.
Oh, all kinds of them. Too many.
Right.
And this year being with COVID and nobody coming up, of course, there's going to be a huge fluctuation in wolf and bear populations. So next year should be good.
That sounds amazing. We're trying to find some of them around here. They run around all like crazy around here, and I've been fortunate enough to find them. But I got my tag ready.
That's awesome. Well, no, I look forward. I hope you honestly do. You come up. I told you before that trip is on me. You come up here and you can share that hunt, and we'll get some wolves.
Sounds like a plan.
Ryan, what's your take on that?
What is my take on what? Hunting?
What we just talked about.
That you're going to pay for Robbie to come out there and hunt with you?
Absolutely. That was part of the deal of him being. It was part of what we talked about with him being involved in the Red Deer Trick or Charity Classic. Yes.
Are you telling me that I should? Are you offering that to me as well?
Sure, come on out.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I support hunting. Like I go deer hunting from time to time. I haven't in several years, and the reason I don't is because I got into politics, and there's a large meeting or convention that seems to overlap deer hunting season every single year. So I just haven't gone in 10 years. But it used to be a regular part of the year for me to go out.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, I got no issue with it, and my family is all been hunters and support ownership rights. And
Well, you're in Manitoba, so you're still a part of the real Canada. So
we had a border with what you consider the not real Canada.
was it Thunder Bay East?
Thunder Bay, I remember you gotta encompass Thunder Bay because they're kind of outliers from the rest of Ontario. But we're killing our show.
When
that's awesome, and Robbie, I'm gonna see if we can't line something up, even to have you up here once before the next August.
Sounds great. I'll be ready.
Robbie, you said you had a question?
Yeah. So I frequently talk with Cody. He doesn't live too far from here. We're actually going to hopefully get together and train one of these days. But I was under the impression that you and Cody were supposed to have a match.
Yes, we were. And everything that we had going on, like Cody and I have pulled a number of times over the years. So a couple times at World Arm Wrestling League. We pulled in the World Arm Wrestling Championships in Turkey in 2018. And then we had a super match lined up. But, with the pandemic happening and the fact that Cody was fighting the anti-doping violation, which has now been cleared of, he was soon. What's that?
He hasn't got any information on that yet, has he?
Oh, yeah, he got it back now. He's been cleared.
Yeah, no, he's good to go. And he canceled every booking he had until that was resolved, which included our match that was going to happen in South Dakota. But I mean, honestly, the match probably wouldn't have happened anyway because the Canadian border got shut down around that time too. So it's I could have been down there and pulled. What's that?
Are you guys still shut down?
We can go to the States, but we have to quarantine for 2 weeks. Is that the rule, Jeff?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of provisions. If you make the right calls and the right connections and pay the right amount of money, you can get around it. I just went through it with bringing Dallas up here for the BLM match. I don't know if you've seen that, Robbie.
No.
But yeah, I had Dallas Langston come up from California against Brendan Mulvihill. So just, was it 3 weeks ago now? So there is ways around it. And but essentially the border is shut down for non-essential services.
How did that match go?
Well, you just Google it. There's all kinds of controversy.
Oh.
we officially made it.
We're running it back.
We're going to do a part 2 yet. Dallas came out. He was up 2-0 on BLM. Then what happened? On the third match, there was a foul on Brendan. A wind gust come up and actually blew our big, large tent over. So there was about a 20-minute delay.
Which I now hear that maybe Evan Burgoyne was seen in the background taking out the supports for the tent.
Yeah. So anyways, the match resumes. There's another foul on Brendan, but the refs forgot and missed the first foul. Nobody caught it. The match goes on. Brendan ends up coming back winning 3 straight and beating him 3-2, but the match should have been over on the two fouls. Should have been 3-0 Dallas. It goes viral, blows up all over the internet. Refs suck. This is bullshit. Canada's against Dallas. There's all fucking kinds of crazy crap going on.
Sounds like a good old arm wrestling match.
Right?
And you know what, Jeff? Nobody would have talked about that match without that controversy. So every single podcast out there did a piece on that particular match.
Exactly.
And they may not have. It would have just been a straight up 3-0 win from Dallas. They might have mentioned it, but it wouldn't have been covered as in depth. So remember I told you can't buy that kind of publicity?
Right.
The TAL is the hottest league going right now.
Yeah, so no, I'm excited to run this. We essentially we just called it a no contest. We reviewed it. I'm putting all kinds of provisions in place. We went out and I bought high definition cameras. I got actually 2 guys coming aboard. We're going to run play-by-play type stuff for the next one, TAL2, and going forward into the other events. So it's really exciting. Vin has asked, is there a date for TAL2? No, there's not right now. As soon as things clear up, and we'll run it. But yeah, there's no date the matches are kind of coming together. We got BLM versus Dallas Langston 2, Akash Kumar versus Sam Pofker. We have Harley Marchant defending her belt against Brianna Anderson out of Rhode Island. We had Alan Ford and Fraser Benoit, but Fraser can't pull right now, so I'm looking for a replacement match for that. And who knows, maybe we'll see Robbie Topie there.
Let's do it.
All right, gents, it's about that time. So, Robbie, thanks for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate it. We don't hear enough from you, and I think the world needs to know that there's a killer left arm out there that they may not be aware of.
Hell yeah.
I like being the underdog. I like being the sleeping giant.
Yeah. Right on, man. We appreciate you. Jeff, pleasure as usual.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Robbie.
Thanks for having me. I'll talk to you guys.
Sounds good.